All right, all right. Hello, Gun Nation. How's everyone doing this evening? We will give it a couple of minutes. Yeah, I was like, where the heck is Pistol Pete, man? He's usually here. Do a quick roll call while we're waiting for everybody else. I was saying hi to everybody, but we got DB in the house, Rich B, Lynn Holt, Ranger 10, Rusty Taylor, and of course, Pistol Pete. And I know more will pop in here. But I had a really good day today, and we'll talk about it a little bit. I don't want to go into too many details because I've got some videos coming out, but did go to the range today and shot with a buddy. Hello, Brian Duchesne. How are you? Ohio gear guy. Did shoot with a buddy of mine. I think I told y'all he had never shot a 300 blackout and never shot, 300 blackout suppressed or 300 blackout, supers or subs, and had never shot a 22 suppressed. Hello, A-Dubs. How are you? So, took him to the range. Wanted to talk a little bit about that. And this is the first time I'd actually shot with him. Also, had a little issue at the range with a person um, that was not being very safe. So, some things were said. But hello, Lynx Defense. How are you? If y'all need some awesome American made bags, Lynx Defense is your man. He makes awesome bags. I've got another one coming, but matter of fact, I took his bags to the range today. But hello, reloading from the hot pot, Michael L. How are you? But had a really good time. My buddy, I let him shoot 300 blackout subs and supers, suppressed. He didn't. We didn't shoot him non-suppressed. Not that we couldn't have handled it, but just didn't. He was more interested in shooting them suppressed. And as y'all know, I mean, supers are awesome, or excuse me, subs are awesome, and they're super quiet. But for lethality sakes, I'm a supersonic 300 blackout guy. Nothing wrong with subs, but man, you get them out to a distance and they drop like a freaking rock. But hell, even at 50 yards, you'll get some drop. But all of mine are sighted in for supers, and then I kind of know from a distance what the drop is. Hello, Palindrome. How are you? But yeah, we had a really good time. Also, let him shoot the 322 suppressed. I let him shoot the staccato C2 comp. He had never shot a staccato before either. Let him shoot that, and we'll go over his opinions here in just a minute. Um, yes, Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope y'all had an awesome Christmas. Um, and yeah, I got some goodies. Nothing huge and major. I didn't really need anything, but got some stuff, and if y'all want to know. Also, and you got to give the guy props. He made a hell of a gun, but Gaston Glock passed away today. I don't know if y'all know that, but yeah, he passed away today. So I shot the Glock, but yeah, I mean, he was a hell of a trailblazer, so you got to give him some props. But yeah, he passed away today. Hello, Jason Fisher. How are you? And then also, if y'all are interested, and I always push for y'all to get more mags. Everybody needs more mags. Botac has a flash sale for Lancer mags, and it shows all colors for $9.97 each, and that's a pretty damn awesome price. So now it shows on the picture all the colors like orange, green, red, purple, clear, smoke, black, all the colors, and tan. But I didn't go into it to see if maybe some of them are more, but it showed all the pictures of all the colors and then 997, I believe. So that's a hell of a deal. You can't use PayPal when you buy those mags, but I mean, that's a hell of a deal. And I love Lancer mags. Never had a problem with them. Even shot a lot of them today. So, hello, Captain Phil. How are you, sir? Piece together a 92F. Awesome, man. Bought a few boxes of Cellar and Bellows subs. Don't need speed to be deadly. Expand up to 1.25 inches at sub speeds. Yeah. No, I mean, a lot of people compare it to a 45 ACP. However, there's a difference between a pistol round and a rifle round. So no, they'll definitely do what you need them to do. I'm just saying, for my preference, I prefer supers. Oh, a 92 FS. Okay. But no, either one of them will get the job done. But if y'all need mags, there's that. I did shoot the Ramjet today. So video will be out, a detailed video. Some of you might really appreciate it, but y'all know when I test stuff, I don't just go bang, bang, bang. Hey, it's all great. I literally put 200 rounds through it today, and that was 115, 124, 147. So I show all the ammo that I'm putting through it. It was boxes and boxes, and then a big bag of 124. So I don't want to give too much away, but also there is a lot of slow-mo. So you've got a lot of fast shooting, a lot of slow-mo, and I broke it down for slow-mo of 115, slow-mo of 124, slow-mo of 147, and then more slow-mo of each ammo. So you can see it slow, you can see it fast. It's pretty detailed. It's a pretty detailed video. So it's about, in all honesty, the video is about 20 minutes long. That's not every round of 200 rounds, but that I showed, but it's pretty detailed. So you can check it out. It'll be out in the morning. You can watch it and let me know what you think. And there you go. So I did due diligence on it, put it that way. Yeah, they always ADubs Bowtech usually has OEM Glocks on mags or mags on sale. Yes, and I did shoot S&B today, also subs and some supers. Yeah, Gershon released that a little while ago. Humble Marksman has one. It really doesn't impress me. You might want to watch his video on it. So he had some issues with it. Man, I don't know. Yeah, with Gaston passing away, I don't really know. I mean, I'm sure they're going to stay in the game. I would hope so. Maybe they will start doing some more revolutionary things. I don't know. I hope they do, but we'll have to wait and see. Pistol Pete says CZ owns S&B now. Each Shadow 3 will come with 3 cases of ammo. That would be nice. Yeah, that would be nice. Let's see here. Hello, Abigail. How are you? Maybe a Glock 1911? Yeah, or a PCC. Captain Phil, he's joking. Oh, man. I hope they don't bring back finger grooves. Yeah, Jason, you know how I feel about all tyranny. So, yeah, I mean, they're all a bunch of morons. That's about as much as I can say, man, in a very nice way. I don't want to get my whole channel next, but I hope you know how I feel about all that. A Glock revolver. Abigail's excited to spend New Year's with a girlfriend. That's awesome. Yep, you definitely want to spend it with people that you love. Over Christmas, I did spend a lot of time with my dad too. Gave him a real wet shave, old school with the lather and, a real razor that you actually put in the old school razor heads. And he loved it. So at first he was like, "Oh, you're going to cut me. You're going to cut me." I'm like, "Dad, I do this every day." Or I shave a lot, so I know how to do it. But anyway, gave him a great shave, no nicks, no cuts, no nothing. And he was like, "Holy crap, this is the best shave I've ever had." So he was a happy camper. It's the little things, like a lot of people said. Yeah, Shot Show. I don't know. I'm hoping. I'm definitely hoping that they have some really cool new things coming down the pipe for everybody. Whether it be optics, pistols. I guess we're going to wait and see. What is that? A couple of weeks away. So hopefully we'll have some. We'll have some new stuff coming. Let's see here. Big Johnson, what's your opinion on Oklahoma and Louisiana? Which one is your favorite state to visit? I like Oklahoma and I like Louisiana. I guess it depends on what you're going for. A lot of people like to go to Louisiana for the food, the Cajun food. So if that's what you're into, Louisiana's cool. Just different parts of Louisiana, but that's the same with Oklahoma. Some parts of Oklahoma suck. There's just nothing to do there, and same parts of Louisiana. When you get out in the middle of nowhere, there's nothing to do either. Um, they're both about equal to me. To be honest with you, there's no difference. Um, both of them are pretty cool. They're both free. Freedom states, so I don't really have any problems with that. Which channels have the best Shot Show vids? TFB TV usually has some really good stuff. Um, you know, I mean, you just you can even put in your search like 2024 Shot Show, and stuff will just pop up. So you might find creators that you've never even seen before. So that might be a good option for you to check that out. But TFB TV usually has pretty good stuff. Cheers, everyone. We've got some Bullet bourbon this evening. I was wanting some Bullet. Got a little more bite to it. Yes, I agree. I kind of said that as well, Rich B. Glock had prepared for this. I'm sure he's got everybody in charge of who's doing what. So I'm sure they're pretty locked and loaded, ready to go. Liz and I want to go to Louisiana for some gumbo and Mardi Gras. Yeah, Mardi Gras, in my opinion, is kind of played out. I've been to a bunch of them. Bourbon Street does have some pretty cool places like Cafe de Monde. You can have the beignets. Those are actually very good. The chicory coffee is very good if you like coffee. It's super strong. They do have good food if you like Cajun food. Of course, fried everything. Um, it's cool to go to. I've been to a plenty of them. Kind of get tired of them. Jason, I really don't know of any. Fortunate for me that I'm not dealing with that. But I don't know of any that are dependable or anything. I just don't have any experience with that. Y'all know that I don't want to speak out of my ass. So I tell you if I have any experience with it or not, and I really don't. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Chris from the 740 does when he goes to Shot Show. He does a lot of different things too. So yeah, like I said, I usually and I'm subscribed to all those guys. Humble will be there this year, I believe. So you can probably check out his channel too. It has to be something like in the title that I'm interested to actually look at. So, some of the stuff when it pops up, I'm just like, some of it I watch, some of it I don't. Oh yeah, SKS. Yeah, a lot of people, SKS is very underrated, but SKS will handle some business. Yeah, yeah, Marlin and yep. So they do have some nice rifles, but yeah, they're definitely proud of those lever guns, man. They shot up in price, but I'm seeing them come back down too. I know, Pistol Pete. That's what I was thinking. If CZ is going to drop their new P10 there, or if they're going to wait, uh, the European has their version of the SHOT Show as well. So I don't know if they would dump it at this one or theirs, but we'll see. But I think it'll be cool. I think it'll be cool to check it out. Here's the thing, though. I really, in my opinion, they can try to ban what they want, but in my opinion, hopefully it'll get shot down. I mean, everybody's going to try. So, you know, and I don't know if you already have them, if they'll be grandfathered in or whatever per the bullshit laws. I don't know. That's what I was saying. At some point in time, you just got to do what you're going to do. If you've got it, you've got it. But back to the buddy of mine, he shot the Staccato C2 mine. He was very impressed with it. Kind of because he shoots. He's got a Glock 43 that he carries. He's got, what else does he have? He has some other. They're all polymer. Some other polymer pistols, and he was very impressed by the Staccato C2. It kind of, like he shot it a couple times and then turned and looked at me and was like, holy crap. Like this is really nice. He was impressed with it. Let him, I don't know, I think he shot a mag or two through it. And then I let him shoot the P322 suppressed and unsuppressed. He really liked it a lot. He's kind of looking for a 22 for him and his kids to do some plinking with. And I was kind of showing him different ones that I have and, the capacities and things like that. So he could pick which one he wanted. He also likes the grip and the way the P322 sets up because it reminds him more of a carry type gun or a trainer versus, some of the other ones that I have. So he was really impressed with the 322. And of course, he loved it suppressed. I mean, he was like, "Oh man, this is awesome." So he's definitely into the 22 suppressed. Shot the 300 blackout again, supers and subs, both suppressed. He's a fan. He's definitely a fan. Let him shoot the supers, and he was like, "Oh, this is really cool." And then I let him shoot the subs suppressed, and he was like, he goes, "Man, I could barely even hear this." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's pretty impressive." So he was like, "Holy crap." So he had a really good time. I think he shot, I think it was 3 or 4 mags. Or, yeah, 3 or 4 mags. I think he shot 1 mag of super. Oh, that's what it was. 1 mag of super. 1 mag of super and sub mixed. And then 1 mag of all sub. So he was really impressed. He was having a good time and getting some good hits. Also, he was kind of holding it funny, and I showed him the C-clamp and kind of how to set up, his stance a little bit better. Stick the butt out, and just really, hammer down on it. Once we got him locked down, he was shooting really good. Also, I had to change his grip on his pistol. He was gripping like this and then putting this hand over the top rather than running your 2 thumbs down the side where your right one is over your left one. At first, he wasn't shooting very good, and this was also his very first time shooting pistol dots. He only shoots irons and has only shot irons. He has never even attempted a pistol dot or a dot on a pistol. He was searching, he was doing the searching for it, and I was telling him, with your grip, the jacked up grip, he was having a lot of side to side movement. So that's why he was losing the dot. So once we got him locked down, I had him more upright instead of turtling like he was doing irons. He was getting it down pretty good. Then afterwards, I asked him, and I didn't film any of this because I didn't want him to be on camera or any of that stuff. I asked him after this, what he thought of the dots, and he definitely likes the dots. Because I was showing him, when you're staring at your front sight, what are you not looking at? The peripheral and everything around you and above you and, all of that. And then with the optic, he had more, everything was, he could see everything up, down, left, right. Um, and he's used to shooting with one eye open, with irons. This was having both eyes open. So that was a little different for him as well. Um, but yeah, he was catching on. So by the end of it, he was having a really good time. Yeah, that's what I was saying on the Jason, with these questions. That I don't give two shits about politicians. I don't give two shits about gun laws. I mean, there's got to be a time where you live your life. Hello, Clyde Cumberland. How are you? Bu- bu- bu. Yeah, Jason. I mean, heck, there's home invasions. Everybody's getting popped, not just Asians and things like that. So, I mean, I think everybody should arm up. Hello, John Crump. Man, I appreciate you jumping in. That's awesome. If y'all haven't checked out John Crump, please do. He's got a great new show, and y'all might all know him, and maybe you're subscribed to him. He does a great job. Let's see here. Ohio Gear Guy is saying dots are the way to go. Not to be snobby, but I'm not even interested in non-optic rated guns these days. I mean, I hear you. It's like I said, I can shoot non-optic guns. It's not a preference of mine. Even if I had perfect vision like I did, I mean, I've got 20/20. It's just close. That's faded some, so I got to use the little cheater glasses, to read and work on the computer. And I do have astigmatisms in both eyes. I've said that before as well. But I'm just a dot guy. Pistols, rifles, whatever. Um, I just find a lot more benefits in them versus old school irons. And of course, if you have a dot and you want to run backup irons, that's cool too. Nothing wrong with that at all. I have several guns with dots and backup irons if something were to fail. But yeah, definitely a dot guy. Brian says, got some great news from the custom boot manufacturer, Texture, going to replace my boots with a new pair. Doesn't want the original pair that are undersized. Took 2 months to get this resolved. Awesome, man. They should take care of you. I'm glad they did. Abigail said, I'm considering a green dot for my Glock. Go for it. I mean, I like, and I kind of did a little test. I told y'all, I've got some green dots. I have 2 green dots, and then I have a ton of red dots for pistols. And honestly, with those 2 green ones I have, I can't I can't really go away from the red to the green yet, and it might just be those green versions. Um, in fiber optics, I love green. I love fiber optic green over red all day long. But I don't know if it's because I've been shooting red dots for so long that I'm just used to them. But the greens just don't do anything to like, more pizzazz, so to say. But there you go. Yeah, and a lot of people like the green reloading. Tendonitis, yes, I've had it. Is that in your ear or the tennis elbow? I can't remember which one that is. I haven't dealt with it in the ear. If that's the one, I'm sorry. Hello, Matt Moore. How are you? Let's see here. But I did shoot quite a bit of guns today. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I shot 8 today. Um, and I mean, I had a really great day. This is the first time, since my dad, this is the first time I've been to the range and actually really shot in probably about 3 months. Um, it was kind of like riding a bike. I didn't really have any like, oh gosh, I got to relearn how to do anything. It kind of became second nature. So everything was really good. I shot 9 millimeter. I shot supersonic or super 300 blackout, sub 300 blackout, 9mm and 3 pistols. Shot a lot of 22 and 3 other pistols, but had a really good time. My buddy came up there for probably about an hour and a half. Then he took off. I stayed in there and shot more. There was a ton of brass that I swept up. I didn't save any of it this time, but I usually save it and give it to Humble, but I didn't save any of it this time. I just wasn't in the mood. I just swept it all out and let them have it. Oh, ringing in the ear. Okay. Age comes wisdom, like fine wine. Oh man, I don't want to say anybody's stupid. Oh man, Keith, that's a really good question. I'm really hoping they do. I would love Texas to go to the big show. For some reason, I'm hoping it's going to be Texas and Alabama again, because I would love to see that shootout again. But hopefully they're going to do it. I got my faith. Got my faith. So we will see. Yeah, and I'm having a lot of people, and I'm sure this is happening to other YouTubers out there. I've got a lot of dot companies hitting me up. Hey, try this dot. We want to send you this dot. We want to send you that dot. A lot of them I'm declining. Some of them I'm looking at, and I'm not really interested in them. A couple of them I've said, yeah, go ahead and send them. So we'll see when I get them. But I think I've declined 4, and yeah, I've declined 4 companies and 2 companies. One I've worked with in the past. So they're sending me another dot, and then a new company is sending me another dot as well. I'm more into the RMR type dots, not so much the RMSC dots. So, we'll see. My opinion on 300 blackout versus 223 depends on what you're going to do with it. 223 is a great round. I'm not discrediting it, but 223 for home defense or anything serious work, I would only run 77 grain, 64 grain at least. 55 grain is just a plinking around, in my opinion. So if you're going to want to do serious work with it or have it for a good home defense, 77 grain. But in my opinion, 300 blackout is superior. It is a 30 cal round. And of course, you've got 90 all the way up to 240 grain that you could run, subs, super, and 300 blackouts. That's my opinion. Now, of course, with 300 supers, or excuse me, 300 subs, they're going to drop like a brick, so you're only going to get a certain distance with them, and you're just lobbing them in there. But, and I know that 5.56 will, go 600 plus yards, but at that point, in my opinion, and I know it can do some damage still at that distance, but it's so affected by wind and everything else. I would rather have a 308 at that distance, or 6.5 or something to that. But within 200, 300 yards, I'm going 300 blackout all day. Because if you have to go through concrete, if you have to go through car doors, if you have to go through any kind of barrier, I personally would rather have, and I know 77 grain will do it, but I would personally rather have a 30 cal. This is just my opinion for what it's worth, because you asked. But use whatever you're comfortable with or whatever you have. You don't have to go out and purchase a 300 blackout or a 308. Now remember, I've got a shorty 308 as well. So if I'm really wanting to put down some hurt, I'm using the 12.5 308 for barriers, engine blocks, things like that. However, you don't want to shoot it in your house. because it's going to go. Woo. Abigail says, how do you deal with FUD relatives? My aunt was bitching at me because I own a handgun. She likes shotguns but hates handguns. Yes, we had some conversations this Christmas as well. Um, what I tell relatives, family members, things like that, um, is our forefathers wrote the 2A for a reason, just like they wrote, the First Amendment, freedom of speech. Without the Second Amendment, it does not protect the first, or you have to have the second to protect the first. So, if you want your free speech, you got to have the Second Amendment. But yeah, sometimes you can't argue with ignorance. You just can't, no matter what you do. But yes, I've argued that many, many times. Not at this particular Christmas. A Christmas before this one, I did, and of course multiple others. But you just have some people that aren't going to listen, just like who they chose to vote for this last time. And I've had many that changed their mind. So we did have that conversation as well this past Christmas. But it is what it is. No, I agree, Abigail. Yeah, 55 green. It'll drop some people. I would just rather have 77 green. Hello, Pranic. How are you? You know what you should have said, Abigail? I'm going to get a handgun and name it after you, whatever her name was. That's what you should have said. Hello, DB. How are you? Fina what is in the house? DB said he got another 200 rounds through his 17L and loving it. That's awesome. Matt Moore is saying, or better and cheaper than 300 blackout 7.62 by 39 for that 0 to 300 yard range. I know the Warsaw links, don't fit me well. Yeah, they don't. And there's nothing wrong with 7.62 by 39. I just like the variety of grains that you can use on 300 blackout over 7.62 by 39, but there's nothing wrong with 7.62 by 39. Yeah, that's what we're talking about earlier, DB. Yep, Mr. Glock's passed. Yeah, Clyde, on a 16-inch, if you have a 10-inch 300 blackout, so if you've already got a pistol, it sounds like you do, 10-inch 300 blackout, but considering a 16-inch barrel for that reason you explained, what I would recommend doing is probably going with a 12.5. I know you've got a 10, but 12.5 to me in a 300 blackout, unless you want to go to a 16, 12.5 on a 300 blackout is kind of the happy spot. You get really good velocity, complete burn, but you get complete burn like in an 8-inch barrel or something. But it's totally up to you. And between a 10 and 12.5, it's not going to be a huge difference. You're just going to get some velocity. How much will ammo be going up after the new year? I've had a lot of people ask me this. Honestly, I think it might go up another 5 to 7%, if that. I still see tons of it on the shelf. Just like every year, people announce price increases. I'm in manufacturing, I deal with manufacturers, and they've already announced a lot of their price increases, and it has nothing to do with firearms. So sometimes it's just a yearly budget increase, and I think maybe they're doing that, but they're scaring everyone as ammo, ammo this and ammo that to try to get people to buy now. Because also you've got to think about it. Everybody's trying to close their books for the year, so the more they can sell before the end of this year, the less taxes they're going to have to pay. So, and inventory. So, they're just trying to move out product. I even had a friend that purchased, he put it in his basket or in his cart, a really nice scope, a high-end scope, a high-end mount, and all that other stuff, and it was just sitting in the basket. He hadn't purchased it because he was still trying to decide. Well, they came back to him and said, hey, we noticed this is in your cart. Can we make you a better deal to entice you to buy it? And so he said, well, shoot me your deal. So they came back and said they would lower his cart $400. Now, again, this is not cheap stuff. These are high end scope. So they lowered it $400 just so he would buy it. And he bought it. I would have too. So, you know, I mean, I think that's a really good deal. Big Johnson, kind of a stupid question. Would you need a separate upper for 300 blackout from 224? Yes. Yeah, you need a 300 blackout barrel upper. Oh, 223. Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Matter of fact, my ultimate truck gun setup was the one I was running today. So I've got a 300 blackout upper and a 223 upper or 556 upper. And I can switch them on the same lower. But the great thing about it is they take the same bolt, they take the same magazine, all of that stuff. So it's just a simple upper with a 300 blackout barrel and another one with a 223/556 barrel. Yep, cost of eggs, everything's up, man. A lot of those with the built-in flashlights, they don't have enough lumens. I think they're kind of gimmicky personally, but to each their own. Whatever you prefer. I really prefer a push button, um, like a God, what do you call them? A pressure pad or a buttons for my flashlight, or the tail cap on the left hand side. So, because I do a C clamp, so when I do the C clamp, the button's right there to press. I don't do this. I actually do a C clamp, so it puts it right. And when I adjust those, I put them right in the purpose spot that I can hit it. I'm not going to hit it as an ND for the light, but when I need it, it's right there. So that's just what I do. I'm not a real big foregrip guy. I prefer end stops. Kind of like a little slant bar that sticks down just to like a little. They're like metal or aluminum. They're like a little. God, what are they called? They just go on the end. I've got pictures of them on a bunch of mine. But what I do is when I do the C clamp, I just put my finger right on the end of that just so I can pull it back. That's all I do. I actually think Lynn Holt that the Ruger American Gen 2 rifle is awesome. They're offering a lot of calibers. Um, I think that's a great option. And for budget, there is nothing wrong with them at all. I think it's a great option. They got 300 Blackout, 223, 6.5 Creedmoor, 7.62 by 39. I mean, they've got tons of even 350 Legend. I think it's 400 Legend. I think it's a great option. So I wouldn't be ashamed to have one of those at all. Two of my cousins were carrying. Yeah, I was carrying the whole time. And one of them was asking, oh, what did he say? One of my uncles asked, why, and he knows I'm a gun guy, and he said, why do people carry everywhere? He's like, there's a lot of places where I don't think anything will happen. Why do people carry everywhere? And I said, well, why do you wear your seatbelt? I mean, when you drive, you might not get in an accident. Why do you have health insurance? You might not ever get sick. I said, it's just good to have it in case something were to happen. And he goes, well, I can understand people carrying into some places, but, around some areas and some places, but some places I don't think they need to. Well, anyway, his grandkid came up to me and was hugging me and then, tapped me in the front. It was kind of like giving you those hugs from the side and kind of slapping the front and the back. And it was punk. And his name's Michael. And he goes, what was that? And I said, oh, that's a surprise. And he goes, show me the surprise. And I was like, no. And my uncle looked at me and he was like, and then that's all he said. That's all he did. Chinese dong. Small grip. Matt Moore said, I watched an old video of yours today comparing the CZ97B to the FNX45. You still like those for 45 ACP options better than 1911s, 2011s? I don't know if I ever said that I like them better than 1911s. Here's what I will say. I like the capacity of those better. Y'all know I'm a 1911, 2011 guy. I always have been, and I still have 45s in 1911, or 1911s in 45. And they're super accurate. But if you're wanting a higher capacity 45, now I've got the 10 rounder Wilson Combats for my 1911s and 45. So there's 10 rounds there. In my 97B, I've got 10, I don't know, is it 10 or 12 rounds? I can't remember, 10 rounds in that one. And then in the FNX 45, you've got 15 plus 1. So that's 16 rounds of 45. So I believe that is the highest capacity 45. It shoots great. Depends on, what you're looking for. But also, I do kind of prefer steel guns, all steel guns, or even alloy guns. And the 1911s give you that, where the FNX doesn't. The FNX is battle proven. 1911s are battle proven. It's whatever you prefer. There's no wrong or right answer. But I really like when I go shoot 45s. I like optics. I didn't have optics on the 97B. I still don't. That particular FNX 45, I don't have an optic. I used to have the tactical, but that particular one was not tactical. So now when I go shoot 45s, it's definitely my STI, modernized STI. 1911, that's my favorite because it's got the optics on it, rail, all that other stuff. So, but there's nothing wrong with the FNX 45 tactical at all. But there you go. Yeah, the 97B is super, super accurate. The FNX 45 is very accurate. Just depends on what you want. But the Glock 21, trying to remember which one the Glock 21 is. I can't remember all the numbers. Glock 21. Which one is that? Is that the 40 or the 45? I don't know which one the Glock 21 is. I can't remember. Yeah, Jason, I'm done with Ukraine. I'm done with all that bullshit. Oh, yeah, the Glock 21 is a 45. Yeah. No, I mean, I think the 45s. I'm not. Y'all might know this. I'm not a big time Glock guy because of and I can shoot them. Don't get me wrong, and I own them. They're just not. I don't. That's not my favorite angle of gun. I can shoot them, but it's just not my go-to gun. So, yeah, I mean, nothing's wrong with the Glock, the 45. I thought it was that, for a minute, I thought it was that weird 45 gap. I can't remember the number on that Glock, but I would not ever buy that. The 45 gap. I would not mess with that. AARP round. Hey, Abigail. They keep trying to give me an AARP card. Pranic says he sold all his Glocks just to say he doesn't own one. Well, my 19X doesn't even say Glock anywhere on it anymore. Since I had it all customized, it only says it on the mags. Damn. Bought some Glock magazines for a grab gun like $10. Can't beat that, man. Yeah, I mean, the hell, I put 200 rounds through a Glock today. Like I said, I was testing that Radian Ramjet Afterburner. So I tested the 115, 124, 147. That, and a lot of people might have missed it, but that video will be out in the morning. It's about 20 minutes long, but it is thorough testing. Again, 115, 124, 147. It's got a lot of slow-mo in there. It's got fast shooting. It's got slow-mo. I pull it in and show the groups, all that stuff. But it's very detailed. If you want to see everything and form your own opinion on it, I definitely recommend you to watch that video. I put it out already as a premiere, so y'all can go in and, whatever, say, hey, remind me to watch it or whatever. And you don't have to watch it early in the morning. You can watch it whenever you want. But I definitely spent a lot of time with that today. I don't want to give it away. You can check it out in the video. But as y'all know, I had the comp on it before that it was a Harrington Arms, and it turned the 19X into a 34 length. This turns it into a 17 length. So, and in the first part of the video, I've got a video of me shooting the Glock with the Harrington Arms first. So you can see that video in slow-mo. And then I go into the other video. So this one, I actually kind of put a video together. So you're going to get I show multiple conglomerates of the 115 in slow-mo, 124 in slow-mo, 147 in slow-mo, then the gun in slow-mo. I do what I call a mixed mag. Y'all will see what that is to test it, which sometimes will choke a gun. And you can find out if this passed or failed. But, I put it through some testing today. I shot a lot of ammo today. Let's see here. Handed my 81-year-old uncle a cartridge out of my pocket, and he says, Grendel. Well, nothing wrong with a Grendel. Yep, the Glock 30. Yeah, they have the shorty, the long one, all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, I've done, Lynn, I've done testing even before YouTube. I might have shown that frying pan that I might have shown it on a video, but I didn't shoot it on a video. I think I showed it on a video like when I maybe first started YouTube, where it was a old frying pan, not a cast iron, but it was an old frying pan, with a thick bottom. I think it was like a T-foul or something, but it was old, so I shot it. I shot it with 45, 22, 9mm, 380, and I think that was it. And I hit them in different sections of the plate. The 45 dented it. The 22 it left like a little nick in it. The 9mm is the only one that pierced it. It actually went right through it. Now, I shot all these with FMJs because I was trying to see penetration. So they weren't hollow points. But, yeah, I mean, that 9mm, it busted right on through. And it peeled the hell out of the back of that pan. Like I said, it wasn't like a thick iron skillet. It was just one of those thick frying pans, those cheaper ones. It had that DuPont shit in the bottom of that Teflon or whatever that was starting to peel off that we were probably eating and poisoning ourselves with. I agree with that Palindrome. 357 is a legit round. It is a legit round. I used to carry 357 back in the day. 357 SIG and, of course, 357 Magnum. But, yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with 357. A lot of people went away from it, but, I mean, it is a great round. Oh, here we go. Hi, Big J. Any thoughts on a CZ Custom Shop P01 versus standard P01? Is it worth the high price? Trigger specs seem a lot better for the CZ P01. P01 with the custom shop setup is super nice. I prefer having the nicer trigger, things like that. It's not a must. It's not an absolute must. But if you're going to get a P01, that's the thing I always tell people. If you love the P01, get a stock P01, a non-Omega P01. So the OG P01, because you can't do a whole lot with the Omega. So get the regular P01, shoot it, see what you think about it. If you like it, then you can have it Cajunized or CZ Custom, where they can upgrade the trigger, the sights, mill it for an optic. things like that. PO1 is a great gun. It's a fantastic gun. Um, it's passed all kinds of. It passed the NATO standard test. A lot of the Czech police carry PO1s. It's a very, very, very good gun. It just, and I've owned them. I just can't fit my hands on them very well, so I sold mine to a subscriber. Y'all have probably seen him on here, Donnie. I sold him mine and gave him a bunch of lock grips that I had for it and stuff like that. And then he sent it out and had it customized, and he loves it even more. But yeah, I mean they do great work to them, but only on the standard PO1. Don't get the Omega. I don't really like. I like the Omega trigger on the PO1, but where the decocker is with my hands, it actually screws up my thumb. I just do not like where the decocker is located on the PO1 Omega. It just doesn't work for me. But like I said, most people aren't ever going to have that problem. Happy New Year, Matt. I appreciate you, buddy. Yeah, and definitely that's why I wanted to kind of do this chat too. To let everyone know, happy New Year, whatever your resolutions are, and all that other stuff. Um, good luck with all of those. Love your family. Tell people you love them that you haven't seen in a long time. All that good stuff. So we all want to better ourselves in 2024. Hopefully, we have some good news with a new puppet in charge. Um, honestly, this is where I will disagree a little bit with Pistol Pete. I mean, if you have an SPO1, okay, let's just put it this way. If you have an SPO1 and you like it, yes, you can send it to CZ Customs. However, if you're thinking about buying the SPO1, tactical or non-tactical, or a CZ Shadow 2, save your money and buy the CZ Shadow 2. Different frame, they both take the same mags, but a stock CZ Shadow 2 will run circles around an SPO1, even if it's slightly customized. Then you can take a Shadow 2 and customize it. And all it needs is a trigger kit. So, and they're cheap. But yeah, I mean, the SPO1 Tactical is cool. I actually had it for a long time. And then I had a guy that really, really wanted it. And I have 3 Shadow 2s. So I was like, I don't ever shoot. And that's another thing. If you own a Shadow 2 and you own an SPO1, you'll never shoot the SPO1. You'll always shoot your Shadow 2s. So that's why I sold my Shadow 2. And it was a limited edition one. So they were really hard to find. And I sold my CZ75 Urban Gray, which was very rare. It was an Omega, CZ75 Omega Urban Gray, which are really rare. And I sold it because the guy just had to have it. Yeah, and it was, the threaded barrel, suppressor sights, all that. And my SPO1 was as well. But that's the thing about me. I really don't enjoy shooting 9mm suppressed. It just really doesn't do anything for me. The only pistol I like to shoot suppressed is a 22. Honestly, that's just my opinion. I mean, I'm not saying it's horrible. It's just more of a kind of gimmicky, or more of a, novelty. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. It's kind of boring once you shoot it a lot. Where a 22 pistol is not boring; it's fun. And I look at it this way: if you had to do up close and personal work, I would much rather have a suppressed 22. So, and I'll show you a little kit, that I put together. That's pretty impressive. I mean, you're just walking and, if you had to, it's fun. Yep, Brian's got one. Anyone looking for a never fired CZ S2 compact? So it's a Shadow 2 compact with an RMSC plate that he already has for it. Never fired. Yeah, my PO1 was really, really worn in. And I don't really like the hook trigger on the standard PO1, but when you do the trigger kit, you can change those out to like the Shadow 2 flatter trigger. But if any of y'all are interested, I was saying earlier, the Bowtac is having a flash sale on their Lancer mags, and they're showing any color for the 30 round mag for $9.98, which is a hell of a deal. And like I said, everybody needs to load up on the mags they need. If it's AR-10, AR-15, 300 blackout, whatever, and pistol mags, because that's the next thing they're going to go after. They've been going after them forever, but and then plus 99% of the things that fail are mags. So have plenty of them. That is always my recommendation. Ammo and mags. That's what everybody thinks they need to buy another gun. I got to buy another gun. Well, when you buy another gun, you usually get 2 mags. And then I don't just have 2 mags for each gun. I have a lot of mags for each gun. So that's where, buying another gun without a purpose. A matter of fact, today, if y'all are interested, at Texas Gun Experience, they have a brand new trade-in Echelon. So it's the Springfield Echelon. It's got all the bells and whistles. Everything's with it. And they're selling it for $4.99. And I looked at it. Things like brand spanking new, if anybody wants one. But in my opinion, if you got a Glock, if you got a P10, if you got whatever, it's just another gun. But if you've been looking for a Echelon and you want to get a really nice one cheap, $4.99 is pretty cheap. And Texas Gun Experience had it as of today. Also, I was digging through a bunch of important documents that I had in the safety deposit box, and look what I found. This is my original Blockbuster video card. It's got my name and everything on the back of it. I thought this was funny. I was like, what in the hell? Why would I put that in important documents? I thought that was hilarious. Yeah, it's a very good deal on Lancer mags, and these are the metal topped, the good mags. But we're getting close at 7:56. If y'all have anything else or have any more questions, rocking the Threat Cadre hat today. That's my buddy Greg's Threat Cadre. I decided to rock it. Also, I'm getting my hair cut tomorrow. I'm not gonna get it cut short. I'm just getting it thinned out. Being a hippie now, but I'll be getting a haircut, getting my ears lowered tomorrow a little bit. But anyway, and that video will be out in the morning. Hope y'all enjoy it. About the Radian Ramjet and Afterburner. Like I said, I put forth a lot of effort in testing it, and you'll see if it's good or bad and what my opinions are. I don't want to give it away, but I think you'll get the gist of it. That's so true, Brian. A lot of people don't even know what Blockbuster is. That's pretty funny, but a lot don't. Yep. That's what I said, Pistol Pete. I said, man, I know that I've got rewinding fees. I know that I probably got a bill somewhere where they're like, you never rewound your videos. You owe us $3 or whatever the hell it was. But I always thought that was hilarious. You go in and they'd check to see if you rewound that shit. But, and you had to get there early. When was it? Like on Fridays or something? They would put the new releases out, and everybody would get there, and they only had like 15 copies. So you had to get there early to see if you could get you a copy. And then if they were all gone, you were looking at the return thing when people were throwing stuff in there, seeing if they were returning the one you might want. So yeah, those days were funny, man. But yeah, I had a really good time shooting today. Like I said, it's been about 3 months. Shot a ton of rounds. I ended up shooting 120 rounds of 300 blackout, which y'all know, averaging, what is it, like $20 a box, so that wasn't cheap. But I've got the rounds, so, and I wanted to shoot it and enjoy it, and let him shoot it and enjoy it. And then I shot it afterwards as well. I didn't really film any of that because y'all have seen 300 Blackout before. Everybody's seen me shoot it. I just wanted to enjoy it and didn't even want to mess with the camera. So I just shot it and had a good time with it. I did let a guy beside me. He had came in and he was like, "Oh my God, is that 300 Blackout?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Man, I've never shot one." And I was like, "You want to shoot it?" And he's like, "Yeah." So I let him shoot it, and he had fun with it too. Um, he had really, really bad eyesight. Now I was using the Prism scope, which works great. But so I was pulling him into like 15 yards so he could see it, 15, 20 yards so he could see it really well. And he was having a good time with it. So, like I said, it's always good, to let other people, that might not have what you have or that particular caliber. It's always fun to let them shoot it and try it and enjoy it too. So, if you're ever at the range and I'm there and you want to try something, you're always more than welcome to it. I let anybody try anything. So I'm not one of those guys. No, you can't shoot my guns. I don't do that. They're always welcome to try out what y'all want to try out. So I think more people, because like I said, if I can get people hooked and get people coming more to our side, that's always a good thing. Oh, I forgot to say this. Y'all probably heard me talk about it the first part of the video, or maybe some of y'all didn't. Had an issue with a person at the range today. Um, oh, it was not good, and I was mad. Okay, when you go to your own bay, you should keep your rifle in your case. Go to your bay, open it up, set your rifle out of the bag onto the, your own little deck or your own little desk. Then take your bag and throw it on the floor or go put it on the back counter or whatever you want to do. I was standing there sweeping up brass. I was pushing it to the back into the little fall cage. I wasn't just sweeping up my brass. I was sweeping up some other people's because it was kind of all in the way. So I was sweeping it. This guy was on the back rack, away from the bays, facing the window, pulling the rifle out of the case. It was an AR with an ACOG on it. Pulled it out of the case, had his finger in the trigger guard, and was wheeling it around, like lifting it up, and was, facing everybody with his finger in the trigger guard. I had the broom, the little push squeegee thing, whatever it is. I saw him about to turn around and I ran over there and I grabbed his rifle and I was like, "Whoa, dude, you cannot be swinging that thing around in here and get your finger out of the trigger guard." And he was a grown ass man. And he took his finger out and he's like, "Well, what? What?" And I was like, "You need to walk your freaking rifle over to your own bay and take your rifle out and set it on the side. Set it on your bay, facing down range, and you can put your bag back here. But you don't pull it out and freaking muzzle everybody in the damn bay." He was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to make anybody mad." I said, "It's just safety. You can't do this shit." And he was like, and he had his son there, which his son was probably 24, 25 years old. The guy might have been my age. But I'm just like, if you don't know this shit, and it says it on the wall, it says a big, huge sign, only take your rifles out at your bay. It says it right there on the freaking wall. It says it when you walk in, there's a big sign on the wall. And yeah, he's pulling out finger trigger guard, freaking about to muzzle wave everybody else. And I'm like, no, that shit ain't going to fly. And I was pretty stern with him. I didn't feel bad about it, but I'm like, we don't know if this damn thing's loaded. He had a mag in it, but I don't think the mag was loaded. But I didn't start ripping it open and doing all that. I just told him to get his finger out of the damn trigger guard. But anyway, just dumb shit like that. I can't stand it. It drives me crazy. And granted, that's another thing that can happen at indoor ranges. I get it. Even outdoor ranges, it can happen as well. But I'm just like, man, the range was packed at that particular time. Every bay was full, and there were some younger kids in there. And his own son was at the bay that he was about to freaking muzzle wave. So, anyway, that got my blood pressure up. Matter of fact, I'm a little hyped about it now because I'm just like, that shit just drives me crazy. So that's something else that happened today. But anyway, There you go. But anyway, so all right. Hello, Floridian. How are you? But anyway, so that was the little episode I had today. I noticed when I was done, I was outside at the table, and I was, just I wasn't playing with my guns or anything, but I was drinking a Coke and watching one of the football games, and he came out and was kind of looking around, and he kind of looked at me. He didn't say anything, but he kind of looked at me, and then he turned around and went back in there. So I was waiting for him to say something, but he didn't say anything. So you know, I don't know. So it is what it is. Everything is a machine gun, Jason. Can't worry about it. They're gonna go after everything. If they ever go after rifles and get them done, they're going after pistols. They're going after knives. They're going after everything they can. So going after fingers. So that's going to be next. But anyway, all right. It is 8:05, peoples. I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all have a great evening. Like I said, have a happy New Year's Day and New Year's Eve. We probably won't be talking before then unless you comment on a video. I do have some other videos I think you're going to enjoy. Did test out a bunch of new products today. Uh, there were, I think, 4 products I tested out today. So when I ran them through their paces, you'll get to see them, see what you think about them. Well, I'll take that back. There's more than just 4. There's multiple products on one pistol. But anyway, so you'll get to see those as I put them out this week. I'll try to get them all out this week or maybe into this weekend. But if y'all have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything after the chat, please leave them. Y'all stay safe out there. Love one another. Be with your families. Have a good time. And hopefully next year will be even a more positive year. And we can get somebody in there that knows what the hell they're doing. And it won't be added to the numbers, so to say. I think y'all know where I'm going with this. Dead people won't start voting again. But anyway, we'll see where it goes. But thank y'all so much. Rest in peace, Gaston. And remember, an unarmed nation is a very weak nation, so we all got to carry on. Thanks, everyone. Y'all take care. Have a great night.